Other interesting cultural news, you have Mark Zuckerberg admitting that Biden-Harris government pressured Facebook to cover up things like the Hunter laptop and the COVID. And interestingly enough, he seems to be, making a confession now, which may are speculating and wondering, well, Mark, why? It's been a couple of years. This brought to us thanks to Twitter, specifically the House Judiciary GOP, which the GOP did something, or they uncovered something. They did something. That's impressive. Usually they acquiesce and do nothing. Still waiting for them to get suppressors off the NFA list, or just get rid of the NFA. That'd be great. Been almost 100 years now. Nevertheless, they say, quote, Mark Zuckerberg just admitted 3 things. 1, Biden-Harris pressured Facebook to censor Americans. 2, Facebook censored Americans. 3, Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story. Big one for free speech, which, again, that would have swayed the 2020 election based on a couple, I say small surveys. The surveys were like between 1,500 and 2,500 people. After the election, there was multiple polls where they asked people, hey, if you knew about the Hunter Biden laptop story, would that have changed, and they asked Democrat voters, would that have changed your vote? And enough people said yes, where, again, if that numbers, the sample size was extrapolated to the whole U.S., then that would have swayed the election. And never forget, we had, what was it 48 former FBI officials or some government bigwigs where they all swore, oh yeah, the Hunter laptop, that's just a fake, it's Russia disinformation. That's what they told us. Yeah, then Mark has this little letter here, which I don't know if he wrote it or more accurately, 25 different publicists helped him write it. And he says, again, so this is written to the Honorable Jim Jordan, Committee on the Judiciary, United States House of Representatives. He says, Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of the investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Further to our cooperation with the investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I've taken away from this process. Again, this is from Mark. Oh, if I can zoom in properly, it says, quote, there's a lot of talk right now around how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta, and I want to be clear on the position. Our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe, secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns about public discourse and public safety. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take the content down, and we made our own decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of the pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressures from any administration in any direction. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about the potential Russia disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma that led up to 2020 election. Again, small side note, the best return on investment in history, bar none. What is it? Ukraine paid Hunter Biden like $76,000 per year to be on the board of the board of directors because he knows a lot about energy. So $76,000 per year, and we've given like $200 billion now. I mean, even Nancy Pelosi's stock market returns, that's got nothing on this investment. I mean, that paid off handsomely for Ukraine. And it's less of our tax dollars every day just going over there. Or I should say less of our tax dollars are staying in our country and more of the just going over there more and more and more. Now, they say, quote, that fall, when we saw the New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent the story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for reply. Since it's been clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect we shouldn't have demoted the story, we changed our policies and processes to make sure that won't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. I mean, that being said, the fact checkers at the time were like, oh yeah, it's definitely just Russian disinformation. He continued to say, quote, apart from the content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral interference. Yeah, didn't he donate $400 million to Democrats? I forgot. Oh yeah, about that. The idea here was to make sure that local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during the global pandemic. I made those contributions through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've seen showing otherwise, I know that some people believe that the work benefited one part of the other over the other. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or the other, or to appear to be playing a role at all. No, I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Respectfully, Mark Zuckerberg, founder, chairman, and CEO, Planet Platforms. Yeah, that's what Mark's saying. But why is he saying it now? It's been a couple of years. And a lot of people are wondering, well, is this just because you think Trump's going to win? He might be a little vindictive and go after you for the election. Like, quite literally, the definition of election interference. I mean, why now? I mean, one of the biggest public squares is the Facebook. And a lot of people consider it to be the cultural lexicon of the world, or at least they like to think so. And this went pretty well. Got 40.2 million views as well as 126,000 likes. With some of the first comments coming from Gunther Eagleman, who says, quote, now imagine if, well, it'll pop up there. Imagine if we had a real Speaker of the House in GOP with a spine so that we could do something about this, unquote. Getting 21,000 likes. Robbie Starbuck says he has answered for his AI claiming that it was arrested. Oh, whoops. Can't read that too well. Says, he's a question. So, has he answered for his AI claiming that I was arrested on January 6th for entering the Capitol? I've never been arrested and wasn't even in D.C. that day. What about accountability? And Robbie Stark getting 2.2 thousand likes. Paul Zupa says, well, this means that the midterms were fraudulent and the whole Biden administration should go to jail. Getting 2.5 thousand likes, which that will never happen. I think we know that. Chris Pawlowski, the founder of Rumble, says, quote, this is explosive and damning. In 2021, during COVID, Rumble told the media to pound sand. We told tech companies threatening to cancel us to pound sand, and we did not fold. Glad to be on the right side of history, unquote. Getting 10,000 likes. See here. It looks like Mark is somewhat apologizing to it. Here's him saying it on the Joe Rogan interview a couple years ago.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? Like there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
We had that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. I mean, basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false.
Yeah, spoiler alert, that's a leftist program, and yeah, interestingly enough, the things they censor are always one way, politically speaking. So, I mean, no one's really surprised. I mean, let's see here. This one's too funny. Justin says, anyone shocked? And it's the cliche, what is it? A Few Good Men. No, what movie is that? Says, I want the truth. Then Mark Zuckerberg responded, says, the truth violates community standards, getting 1,000 likes. So, let's see here. And yeah, why is he apologizing now? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's because he's speculating that here? Yeah, do you think he's worried Trump's gonna win? What do you think the ramifications might be? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment to give me a little bit more feedback. Let me know I can make this show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.